At my daughter's wedding, my son-in-law commanded me to surrender the keys to my vineyard estate right there in front of 200 guests, his voice cutting through the murmur like a blade in the stifling heat of the evening. When I refused, he struck me with such force that I staggered and fell, the sharp tang of blood filling my mouth as the world spun in a haze of shock and humiliation. I rose unsteadily, walked away from the chaos, and placed a call that would unravel everything, the cool night air biting at my skin as my fingers trembled on the phone. He descended into pure hysteria when he realized who was on the line. I'm grateful you're here with me. Stay through to the end of my tale and share the city you're tuning in from. I'd love to know how widely this has spread. I never dreamed my daughter's wedding would culminate with me sprawled on the cool stone tiles of the banquet hall, blood trickling from my lip amid the stunned silence of 200 onlookers. But that's precisely how Damien revealed his venomous core. The day had dawned like a father's cherished vision, the sun filtering through the mist-shrouded hills of our northern California valley, where the air carried the faint, earthy scent of ripening grapes and dew-kissed soil. Sophia radiated ethereal beauty in her grandmother's antique silk gown, the very one my late wife Isabella had worn 35 years prior, its delicate embroidery whispering of lost times as I escorted her down the petal-strewn path of the historic winery chapel, my throat tight with unshed tears as she gripped my arm and murmured how she longed for her mother to witness this moment, the words hanging heavy in the incense-laden air. For a fleeting instant, harmony reigned, and I pushed aside the gnawing dread that had shadowed me regarding Damien for the past year, the way his calculated glances seemed to appraise not just the day, but everything I held dear. The vows exchanged were poignant. Sophia's face alight with unbridled joy under the arched wooden beams, and I compelled myself to grin whenever Damien's piercing eyes locked onto mine, his polished charisma, a veneer that deceived all but the vigilant, the kind that masked ulterior motives with effortless grace. I'd honed my vigilance over the preceding 18 months, ever since he began probing with insidious questions about the vineyard's holdings, my estate plans, and the fate of the land after my time. His words laced with a subtle greed that prickled like thorns beneath the skin. Yet weddings have an uncanny knack for stripping away facades, exposing raw truths amid the clink of glasses and forced merriment, and Damien's veneer cracked during the twilight reception as the string quartet's melodies faded into the background hum of conversation. I lingered by the ornate bar, sipping an aged Cabernet that burned warmly down my throat, observing Sophia's laughter mingle with her old university companions under the strung fairy lights when Damien materialized at my elbow. His crisp tuxedo rumpled his cheeks, flushed from too much vintage wine, and an unfamiliar hardness glinting in his eyes like shards of glass under moonlight. "Something sharper, Elias," he muttered, his hand clamping my shoulder with bruising pressure that sent a jolt through my aging frame. "We need to have that discussion now." I pivoted to confront him, sensing the nearby clusters of guests fall into uneasy quiet, their whispers dying like wind through the vines. "What about son?" The term son visibly grated on him, his jaw tightening like a vice, before he plastered on another insincere grin, the air between us thick with unspoken tension. "About the vineyard. About Sophia's legacy. Our legacy." "This isn't the moment or the venue, Damien." I modulated my tone to a hush, desperate to quell the storm brewing in his gaze, the oppressive warmth of the hall pressing in like an unwelcome embrace. "It's your special day. Savor it." But Damien harbored darker intentions, inching nearer until his breath laced with fermented grapes, and barely contained fury brushed my face in a way that felt more menacing than any shout. In truth, it's the ideal moment with all these observers present, all these influential figures from our circles. A shiver traced my spine cold despite the humid air, the word observers twisting in my gut, like a knot of vines implying something far more sinister. I scanned the room, noting we were encircled by his corporate allies, his relatives, strangers to me, whose loyalties lay elsewhere. Sophia remained distant across the expansive hall, still chuckling obliviously with her friends, her joy. A stark contrast to the dread coiling in my chest. "Damien, whatever scheme you're harboring, I'm harboring thoughts of true benevolence, of genuine familial backing, He cut in his volume, swelling just enough to draw ears, the ambient chatter ebbing like a receding tide. That's when it materialized. He delved into his pocket and withdrew a sleek ebony case. For a heartbeat, I mistook it for an additional nuptial token, but as he flipped it open, ice flooded my veins. Nestled within were my keys. The originals to the estate house, the cellars, the processing sheds, keys. I'd never relinquished their metallic gleam mocking me under the chandelier's glow. How did you acquire those? I demanded, my voice wavering as a surge of betrayal washed over me. The room's air suddenly heavy with the scent of spilled wine and wilting flowers. Damien's smile morphed into something feral predatory, lifting the case higher for the encroaching crowd to behold their murmurs rising like distant thunder. Sophia duplicated them. She believed it would be a touching emblem, a gesture of unity. But we require the authentic ones, don't we? Coupled with the title transfer documents. My glass shook in my grip, the Cabernet sloshing as rage pulsed through me, hot and unyielding. The what? Oh, come now, Elias. Don't feign ignorance. His tone boomed, now silencing the hall entirely, the quartet's bows halting mid-note. Sophia is your sole heir. The vineyard ought to be hers, ours. And truthfully, a man of your years shouldn't shoulder such a load unassisted. The weight of 200 stairs bore down like an unrelenting sun. The music absent, even the servers frozen in their tasks, their trays suspended in midair. Damien had engineered this spectacle, flawlessly crafting a public crucible where my denial would paint me as callous irrational, the air thick with anticipation, and the faint, acrid undertone of candle smoke. The vineyard isn't transferring anywhere, I stated measuredly, my heart pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. And this isn't discourse for when you're gone. Damien's facade shattered utterly now, his features contorting with raw contempt. Sophia merits stability immediately. We both do. And that vineyard languishes there squandered on an elderly man scarcely capable of overseeing it any longer. The barb landed like a physical strike, gasps, rippling through the assembly like wind through leaves. I spotted Sophia's cousin Elena, clasping her hand to her lips in dismay. In the periphery, Sophia had at last detected the disturbance and was weaving toward us, her gown swishing across the stone bewilderment, etching her features amid the growing shadows. I uttered, "No, Damien." My tone held firmer than the turmoil roiling inside, a quiet resolve steeling my spine. That's when the world tilted irrevocably. Damien's countenance warped with unbridled wrath, all traces of decorum evaporated in the sweltering atmosphere. He advanced, his breath scorching with wine and malice. "You obstinate old relic! Do you comprehend whom you're provoking?" Before I could retort, before I could retreat, before any could intercede, Damien's palm connected with my cheek in a resounding crack that echoed through the hushed hall like a thunderclap, the impact jolting through my skull, stars bursting in my vision. The blow propelled me off kilter, my foot skidding on the slick stone, and I crumpled hard. My side slamming into the unyielding floor first. Then my arm, agony blooming like fire through my joints as I lay dazed, the metallic taste of blood seeping from where I'd nicked my inner cheek, the room's opulent scents, perfume, floral arrangements, roasted meats, now overshadowed by the sharp sting of my own humiliation. For an eternal second, utter stillness reigned the air, pregnant with shock, my labored breaths, the only sound piercing the void. Then the murmurs swelled like a gathering storm. Did he truly strike him? Heavens, did you witness that? Someone summoned security. I propped myself on an elbow, surveying the ring of appalled visages encircling me, their eyes wide with horror and pity, the chandelier's light casting harsh shadows that deepened the creases of concern. Damien loomed above his chest, rising and falling erratically, his knuckles still balled. A flicker of astonishment crossing his features, as if he grappled with his own actions, the air between us charged with the residue of violence. That's when my gaze found Sophia. She hovered at the crowd's fringe palms pressed to her lips, tears carving paths down her cheeks. But she remained rooted, not surging to aid her father who'd been felled at her celebration, her expression a mask of terror directed at Damien. And in that instant, a chilling realization pierced me. This wasn't her inaugural glimpse of his darkness. the thought twisting like a vine in my gut, amplifying the ache in my bruised flesh. With deliberate, excruciating effort, I hauled myself upright, my side throbbing in protest, a swelling warmth blooming on my face. Yet I stood resolute, the stone cold beneath my shoes grounding me. I locked eyes with Damien, then swept my stare across the throng, many lifelong acquaintances whose loyalty now felt like a fragile shield. I believe I articulated softly, my words resonating in the frozen hush this gathering has concluded. I pivoted and strode toward the exit, each step sending lances of pain through my limb, the hall's grandeur now a mocking backdrop to my retreat. Behind me, Damien's voice pierced the air, shrill and frantic. "Elias, hold on. I didn't intend that was. We can resolve this." I neither turned nor acknowledged him, simply exiting the banquet hall, the venue, and into the dimly lit parking area where my vintage truck awaited its familiar outline, a solitary comfort amid the encroaching night fog. Once ensconced in the cab, the leather seat creaking under my weight, I retrieved my phone, my digits still quivering but purposeful, as I scrolled to the vital contact, the dashboard lights casting a ghostly glow on my swollen cheek. The line connected after one ring, two. Then a trusted timbre responded. Elias. How was the ceremony? I shut my eyes, the burden of impending revelation pressing like an invisible weight on my chest, the engine's idle hum, a low vibration against my resolve. Victor, I require your presence in Napa this evening. It's time. A beat of silence. Are you certain this path offers no reversal? I glanced back at the venue silhouettes shifting behind illuminated panes of the hall. Somewhere within, my daughter likely wept. Somewhere within, Damien doubtless spun excuses for his outburst. Somewhere within, the existence I'd safeguarded for 28 years teetered on collapse. I'm certain, I affirmed. It's time the truth about the vineyard emerged for all. As I navigated away, the truck's tires crunching on gravel, I caught Damien's figure in the rear view framed in the entrance, gesticulating wildly into his phone, his pallor ghostly. Under the lamps, panic etched in every line. He remained oblivious to the tempest approaching, but enlightenment loomed imminent, the fog swallowing the venue like a shroud as I vanished into the night. The journey back to the vineyard afforded excessive space for reflection. 28 miles of winding, shadowed roads, unfurling ahead, the headlights slicing through mist that clung like forgotten regrets. And with each curve, recollection surged unbidden. Not the tender ones of Sophia's youth, but the insidious erosion of our bond that Damien had masterminded over the prior year and a half, his influence seeping like blight through healthy vines. It commenced subtly, as such corrosions invariably do, with innocuous remarks that masqueraded as concern. During our weekly suppers, the table laden with fresh produce from the estate, the air redolent with herbs and wood smoke from the hearth. Father appears utterly drained these days, doesn't he? Sophia would observe, her fork pausing mid-air. Perhaps he's overexerting on the vineyard. Initially, I interpreted it as filial solicitude. My 72-year-old form did protest more vehemently than before, and tending 500 acres of premium vines grew no simpler with age, the relentless sun and soil demanding constant vigil. But soon the observation sharpened, persistent as pruning shears. Damien suggests engaging additional staff. She ventured one dusk as we lounged on the veranda, the valley's haze softening the horizon's edge. He's concerned about you managing solo in this climate. Damien, who'd never dirtied his hands in a working vineyard prior to courting my daughter Damien, who arrived at casual gatherings in tailored attire and griped about the pollen-laden breeze. Damien fretted for me, his words echoing in my mind like a distant warning bell. The authentic coercion ignited roughly 12 months past, coinciding with Damien's proposal, the ring's sparkle mirroring his ambitious gleam. Abruptly, every exchange with Sophia wove in his viewpoints, his apprehensions, his propositions. He perpetually emerged as the sensible arbiter, the pragmatic visionary, the guardian of collective welfare, his shadow lengthening over our dialogues like overgrown canopies blocking light. Damien believes it's unjust that I lack formal entitlement to the vineyard, Sophia confided one morning, her tone studiously even as we shared coffee on the sun-dappled patio, the bruised bitterness mirroring the knot in my throat. He mentions most parents would have initiated the handover by now. I recall the coffee turning acrid on my tongue, a constriction in my chest. I couldn't yet label the morning birdsong suddenly intrusive. Handover. You know, assigning the estate to me for fiscal advantages, Damien's researched it thoroughly. He claims we could preserve thousands in inheritance levies with foresight. Damien once more eternally. Damien with his inquiries, his strategies, his expedient remedies to dilemmas I'd never perceived the air heavy with unspoken implications. The most grievous was witnessing Sophia's transformation. She'd always embodied resilience, fierce, like her mother laboring harvests on the estate, familiar with every row and irrigation line, her laughter once echoing freely amid the vines. Yet progressively Damien's rhetoric emanated from her lips. "Father, you're being inflexible on this vineyard matter," she chided during a strained supper, the candle flames flickering shadows across her face. Damien merely seeks to assist. He possesses expertise in asset oversight. Asset oversight. As though the Hawthorne Vineyard were merely another portfolio entry to optimize the land my great-grandfather claimed in 1915, reduced to a ledger line, the thought churning in my mind like fermenting must. What manner of expertise I probed, though anticipating disillusionment, the room's warmth now oppressive. He oversees multiple luxury developments in the Bay Area. He's versed in property valuations, market shifts, that ilk. That ilk, not the sort entailing dawn patrols for frost threats or midnight harvests under floodlights. Not the variety demanding endurance through pest outbreaks or volatile yields praying the rains held or arrived in measure. The escalation mounted post-engagement. Damien materialized unannounced often, absent Sophia prowling the grounds with his device aloft, capturing images, interrogating on acreage and water rights. Just intrigued, he'd assert with that rehearsed beam, endeavoring to grasp Sophia's roots. But roots weren't his computation. The subtext clear in his appraising stares, tension coiling in my shoulders like taut wires. I overheard him one afternoon by the fermentation tanks conversing with an unknown party on valuations and subdivision prospects. Upon spotting my approach, he severed the call abruptly. Professional matter, he justified. You understand. I didn't understand. I'd never conducted a professional call uninvited in another's domain, the betrayal lingering like a sour note in aged wine. The deceptions initiated modestly, too. Damien would relay to Sophia accords I'd never endorsed, utterances I'd never voiced. Father informed Damien, "He's prepared to decelerate," Sophia announced one Sunday, her eyes avoiding mine across the laden table. "He's enthusiastic about Damien assuming greater operations." I gazed at my daughter, scouring her expression for awareness of the falsehood, but conviction shone there. She craved conviction. When did I express that? I inquired cautiously, my fork suspended. "Last week during your chat near the Eastern Plots," she recounted. "Damien said you appeared eased to distribute the load." I recollected that exchange. Damien had ambushed me amid vine inspections, pressing on margins and expenditures. I'd offered curt replies and departed swiftly. Somehow he'd twisted my civility into zeal for his intrusion, the manipulation twisting deeper, a silent storm building in my chest. The psychological warfare amplified thence. Per Damien, I perpetually articulated forgotten phrases, consented to unconsented pacts. Sophia began regarding me with solicitude, as if senility encroached unreliable shadows lengthening. "Are you all right, Father?" she queried one twilight after Damien alleged I'd vowed to display the boundary surveys. "You appear somewhat disoriented of late." Disoriented. That's Damien's design, portraying her aging parent as faltering, burdensome, perhaps perilous to self and kin. The idea fueling a quiet rage that simmered like heat waves off sun-baked soil. In reality, I sharpened keener than in decades. I monitored every syllable Damien uttered, every assertion, every fabrication, jotting notes, chronicling his mendacities and initiating contacts, the decisions weighted with the gravity of harvest choices. The inaugural contact was to my attorney Harlan Brooks, steward of my matters for 22 years. Has anyone approached regarding vineyard conveyance? I posed the line, crackling faintly. No, Elias. Should they have Damien Langford? Sophia's betrothed. He's informing her such shifts are routine for tax mitigation. A prolonged hush. Elias, you're aware of the vineyard's status. That's not precisely truthful. I was aware had been for 28 years. Yet Damien remained ignorant, as did Sophia. I'd borne that burden solo since Isabella's passing, shielding my daughter from a verity that would have entangled her existence needlessly, the memory of that choice now a thorn in my side. I believe it's time to initiate calls, Harlan. Are you positive? Commencing this alters everything. I contemplated Damien's grasp on my daughter, his murmurs in her ear, his designs on terrain not mine to bestow. Positive. The subsequent contact proved thornier. Victor Langston had served as my liaison for 28 years, quarterly check-ins, fiscal oversight of my role. He expressed surprise at the unscheduled outreach. All well, Elias, I think it's time to disclose the setup I conveyed. My daughter's wedding to one oblivious to the reality. A weighty choice. Certain I envisioned Damien's hands, his voice, his schemes. Certain. The third contact stung deepest. Dr. Elena Vargas had been our household medic for 18 years she'd birthed. Sophia clasped Isabella's hand amid treatments, bolstered me through abyss-like grief. Elena, I need a favor. A comprehensive physical and mental appraisal. Elias, your yearly exam was 4 months back. All cleared. Aware, but I require certification. Formal proof of mental acuity and physical aptitude. A pause heavy with implication. Someone implying contrary. I delineated the scenario meticulously, how Damien framed me as muddled, forgetful, incapable of duties, how Sophia began crediting it, the words bitter on my tongue. That bastard Elena spat, composure fracturing. Pardon the vernacular, but that's textbook psychological torment, calculated dominance. Aid possible, I'll exceed every test lab's cognition fitness. Post-completion, you'll possess records affirming you're sharper than many half your age. Outcomes aligned with Elena's forecast, optimal vitals. Superior cognition, fitness, surpassing age norms. I secured the reports in my vault alongside pivotal documents soon to prove crucial, the act, a quiet fortification against the encroaching threat. Yet I erred once in those preparatory moons. I undervalued Damien's extremes for acquisition. I anticipated gradual pressure erosion via patience and persistence, sustained mental assault convincing Sophia of my obsolescence. I never foresaw public degradation at his nuptials. Never dreamed desperation driving key demands before 200 spectators, certainly not the strike, the violence hanging in my memory like a bruise that wouldn't fade. That assault accelerated my schedule by quarters, compelled action unplanned. But perhaps providence. Perhaps time for Damien to grasp some enigmas, merit concealment, some deceptions, bear repercussions beyond imagination. As I steered into the vineyard drive, my phone illuminated with unanswered summons, Sophia doubtless, Damien assuredly, witnesses from the reception craving sequel. But one call alone mattered. I redialed Victor from the truck, gazing across terrain I'd guarded 28 years, the moon casting silvery hues on orderly rows. Victor, Elias again. How swiftly can you assemble the council to Napa if pressing tomorrow dawn? I palpated my inflamed cheek, the throb in my side from stone impact. Pressing. Damien Langford just committed his gravest blunder. Time he discovered the true proprietors of Hawthorne Vineyard. The verity of Hawthorne Vineyard originated 28 years prior on my existence's nadir. Isabella battled illness for 20 months, our reserves depleted on therapies ultimately futile. I perched in the clinic's admin suite confronting statements exceeding $300,000 when the estate overseer located me, his cap twisted in calloused hands, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like accusing insects. Mr. Hawthorne, regret intruding now, but issue arisen. The issue prolonged drought severest in 60 years, vines withering, reservoirs depleting funds, absent for new bores. Lenders loomed, foreclosure whispers growing. Isabella departed. Sophia Mere 8 and I verged on forfeiting all kin, forged since 1915, the weight crushing like compacted earth. Then Victor Langston rapped at my threshold. That dusk etched eternal, I lounged on the veranda horizon, dipping over land, soon perhaps alien, when a sleek vehicle ascended the path. A suited figure emerged, briefcase in tow, exuding assurance born of substantial wealth, the air cooling with twilight's advance. Mr. Hawthorne, Victor Langston, for Apex Preservation Group. I hear you might entertain a proposition. Too weary for courtesy. If lowballing my vineyard, spare us. Actually, he settled unbidden beside I'm proposing alternative retain your vineyard resolve finances eternally. He unveiled a voluminous accord. Apex focuses on viticultural conservation. We acquire estates from distressed lineages, lease back for stewardship. You preserve abode vocation heritage. We manage finances. Skeptical hook none. You assume overseer role. We furnish ample wage cover operations, handle upgrades. Externally unaltered, your Elias Hawthorne vineyard proprietor. Legally, Apex holds title. Duration perpetual while desired. Retirement transition arranged. Repurchase, equitable negotiation per valuation. I scrutinized the packed thoughts, whirling like leaves in gust. Why Victor grinned. Apex isn't standard investor, represents affluent patrons valuing North American viticultural legacy. No rush profits. Long-term vision. Who confidential. But patriots recognizing estates like yours underpin the nation. Rather conserve manage properly than fragment to builders. Offer surreal $65,000 annual wage benefits, all cost-borne operational autonomy. Crucially, Sophia inherits my post upon passing with repurchase option, time needed. But Mr. Hawthorne lenders initiate seizure next week. 48-hour window, sign that eve. What alternative drowning Apex lifeline? Morning rigs arrived for boring. Week 3 fresh wells flowed. Month vines revived. Half-year vineyard thrived beyond my tenure. 28 years flawless quarterly funds, major outlays covered non-interference. Victor visited seasonally ever supportive. Overseer, but to outsiders owner. Planned Sophia's revelation at 23, but university engrossed her social whirl. Postgrad Bay Area career. Vineyard peripheral disclosure deferred. Then Damien surfaced, altering all. Initial visit, he toured like assessor, querying acreage mineral claims valuations. Demanded ledgers, assessments, statements. Grasping Sophia's bequest, he clarified upon my catching him imaging sellers. But queries too precise scheming. Called Victor that week. Potential complication. Nature Sophia's suitor probes property deeply. Pushes data I can't supply son unveiling. Relation gravity. Marriage talk. Pause. Elias contract terms if outsiders learn ownership, Apex may terminate. Aware clause perused endlessly. Apex shield from exposure political snares. Options. Disclose to daughter. Marrying him. She merits knowledge of true inheritance, but attempts thwarted. Damien present redirecting querying assuming. Assumed vineyard lucrative asset for Sophia. Assumed me affluent proprietor generous with endowments. Ignorant I was compensated steward of another's holding. Post-betrothal pressure surged. Damien opined enhancements, vision, subdividing blocks, recreational builds, parcel sales for upscale homes. This holds vast promise, he declared from Hillcrest, overlooking Manor Breeze carrying grape must scent. Proper promotion transformed to luxury retreat, events corporate escapes. Blood-chilled Apex forbade unapproved commercialization. Damien plotted converting working vineyard to leisure hub, the idea repulsive as blight. Not my envisioning, I countered guardedly. Won't be yours long will it smile, but voice edge steel. Once Sophia and I wed decisions ours. Realization. Damien aimed seizure pre-mortem, maneuvering my sidelining, portraying me obsolete to Sophia. Documented all dialogues demands fabrications to Sophia. Also, attorney compiled Damien dossier credit commerce past liaisons. Findings grim. Damien patterned asset targeting women. First union dissolved upon spouse uncovering property loans. Partnerships collapse debts on associates Damien advancing. Damning employer probe for dubious reimbursements, resource misuse. Termination imminent within quarters. Desperate desperation breeds peril, a truth echoing in my sleepless nights. Should have revealed all prenuptials meridian pact to Damien's finances. Hoped Sophia's discernment. Believed my astute daughter would perceive. Instead, Damien culminated in public shame violence. Compelled action via witnesses. Now truck-bound and drive reversal impossible. Dawn Victor with Apex Counsel. Damien learns assaulting manager of potent entities holding. Individuals disliking investment threats or staff attacks. Phone rang Damien. Voicemail. Elias matters escalated tonight. Stressed excess wine, but family, now family, reconciles. Return call. Discuss progression. Progression as if public strike minor hiccup. As if Dawn routine. Damien oblivious to Dawn's lesson seeming possession versus actual and allies in elevated spheres. Dawned pre-sunrise habitually. But morn amplified coffee percolation, resonant boots echoing boards distant vine rustle in breeze. Today, Damien learns Enigma's repercussions. Victor called 6:15, hour from Vineyard, counsel from Seattle. Chicago, Austin. Displeased schedule disruption but situation explained concurred urgency. Damien details all. Comprehend threat scale. Next hour prepped, extracted proofs, competency medics. Damien legal financial eval year-long dialogue records comprehensive portrait. 7:30. Three dark vehicles ascended dust swirling morn light. From window observed six alight attire clashing pastoral backdrop. Victor led unchanged. Beside woman 60s auburn hair, aura commanding intellect. Others men 50s 60s bearing quiet authority. Elias Victor introduced on veranda. Meet Apex Counsel. Victoria Sterling Chair. Alexander Reed Finance Chief. Marcus Kim Counsel. Jonathan Hale Operations. Lucia Ramirez Risk. Handshakes, firm gazes, direct no frivolity. Mr. Hawthorne Victoria Crisp. Victor briefed. Understand threatened. Assaulted by property controller aspirant. Correct. And believes you sole proprietor. Does. As does daughter. Maintained illusion 28 years per pact. Marcus unveiled tablet. Researched Damien Langford since Victor's alert. Disturbing. Turned screen debt profile. Heavily burdened cards, loans, apparent betting dues to shady figures. Circa $150,000 owed, Victoria continued. Concerning employment, contacts confirm embezzlement probe, company cards, personal phantom billing, termination next week, Lucia added. Likely aware explaining desperation asset secure via union. Gut twisted sick. Sophia no doubtful, Jonathan said. Maintain success illusion lavish vehicle premium dwelling attire all credit unsustainable. Alexander consulted device. Profile predatory targets asset women manipulate strips resources. Marcus elaborated. First spouse lost kin enterprise to debts. Second relation ended forged signatures on collateral loans. Portrait clarified uglier. Damien no mere opportunist seasoned fraudster Sophia ideal prey. Legal stance if pursues, I queried. Marcus cold smile. Nil. No standing. Apex property managed you. Even legitimate union, even transfer wish council approval needed unforthcoming. Victoria firm. Crucially, Lucia added last eve assault, witnessed 200, 6 statements to legal. Felony against senior. I blinked. Felony assault over 70, auto felony California. And as representative corporate assault, prison substantial. Phone interrupted Damien. Victoria motioned answer. Marcus activated record. Damien Elias relief. Reflected last night profound apology owed. Out of bounds. Wedding strain wine excess, you know. Do I don't thus? Family now. Forgives advance. Considering morn meet property details settle vineyard sans confusion. Victoria nodded. Continue. Property. Don't ignorant Elias. No topic. Sophia merits heritage frankly post-night clear incompetent manage. Reaction simple discourse temper loss. Audacity stunning rewriting me violent. Seriously claim I struck diplomatic. All saw. Agitated swung balanced lost fell. Embarrassing all especially Sophia. Lucia noted furiously Marcus ensured capture. So transfer Vineyard Sophia you right action. Honestly, Sophia desires. Months worried you isolated managing. Better responsible hands. Responsible yours. Ours. No dislike but permanent. Easy or hard. Threat smooth as ever, fooling Sophia year and half. Hard Damien. Hard attorneys, medics competency. Hard Sophia. Tough choices, father psyche. Hard public shame all. Victoria signaled prolong. Sign over vanishes. Vanishes. Family dinner last night past fresh start. Even consultant stayhouse reside daily aid. Comfort retirement. Patronizing intolerable offering my home as employee property he thought thieving. Need ponder. Not long Elias. Lawyers ready. Sophia hourly worried. Night crying querying father mind loss. Hung pre-response. Phone down faces furious 5 potent all incensed. Textbook senior abuse Lucia said. Isolation, gaslight exploit, institution threats all present. Recording suffices charges. Marcus added. Extortion fraud attempt, conspiracy abuse. Victoria rose. Elias recalled Damien. Agree demands but personal sign. Tell Vineyard afternoon. Here. Yes. Matters discussed. Time learned threats recipient. Jonathan timed. Security 2 hours. Security. Victor Grimm smile. Apex Guards investments. Elias. Crucially people. Damien assaulted employee defraud attempt property. Demands response. Thought. Sophia likely hotel confused, heart shattered, believing father wedding ruin cause. Lies. Damien fed twisting love to doubt worry. Daughter unaware. Will Victoria firm. Post Damien sit explain all. Vineyard truth. Husband truth. Actions to both. Phone buzzed. Damien text. Noon Vineyard. Bring title papers. Official time. Showed Victoria. She smiled chill. Perfect. Official desires. Accommodate gladly. Damien arrived 15 early BMW leased parking proprietarily near porch. From window watch tie adjust mirror check. Unaware 6 potent observed from shed's clear house view. Apex security hour prior 3 ex-feds handling sensitivities. Position to state unseen ready. Victoria Clear observe. Record intervene sole violence. Remember she instructed pre-shed let speak demands. Rope sufficient legal noose open door pre-knock. Strided in swagger briefcase triumph barely veiled. Elias no handshake. Sensible finally. Best all. Is absolutely. Sophia relieved resolution. Worried post-night. Set briefcase table opened. Papers necessary title transfer, attorney power official all. Stared documents on great-grandmother's table, prepped advance weeks likely. No impulse stress wine, planned, prepared long. Damien startled observation. Mask slip eyes calculate. Then smile forced. Businessman Elias. Prepared. Post-engagement family assets planning thought. Responsible. Responsible. Sat opposite, noting Chen device pocket record. Elaborate responsibility. Damien, employer responsibilities. Hand froze. What job Damien loss impending embezzlement. Pallor drained. Unaware what mean, sure, cards personal billing undone. Bosses fire next charges likely. Eyes window dart perhaps not alone sense. Who said matter matters? Sophia ignorant right gambling debts. No cards dangerous owed much. Stood abrupt chair scrape wood. Investigated me. Protected daughter. Same manipulated year half. Manipulated voice rose outrage genuine. Love Sophia. All done her future. All self. Saw isolated woman rich father opportunity. Composure cracked. Rich father you think rich. Place leveraged Max Elias. Seen records. Barely even vines. Asset sole land. Admission researched finances, liquidate plan all worked. Kept steady. Land want security wife. Sophia better than worry aging father run. Leaned patronizing renew. Proud no vineyard means much realistic. 72. No aid operation marginal. Developer sell, invest proper. All win. All win. Security retirement. Sophia inheritance young enjoy. I care family way. Family way from admit sell great grandfather vineyard developers. Developer type eyes excited. Phone out swipe photos. Preliminary talks. San Francisco group luxury enclaves. Interested location. Turned phone renders gated Vine Crest residences, 200 home spa boutiques on Erst Hawthorne Vineyard. Offer $4,800,000 full. 500 acres continued. Imagine Elias. $4,800,000. Worry never. Already price negotiated. Preliminary soul. Family talk needed but motivated. Groundbreak next season. Commission you hesitated long. Finder fee standard. How much? 2%. $200,000. Quick amount irrelevant. But not why Elias. Family. $200,000 debts, clear card, surplus, fresh sans, Sophia likely, post-utility. Sophia think childhood home subdivision. Sophia best wants, trust business me. Convinced incompetent, mass slip irritation flash, acting incompetent. Vineyard loss stubborn, admit. How long sustain? 5 years. 10, heart attack alone. Horse fall, hip break. Worked. Anger justifications, believing. Sophia inherit anyway death. Ensure valuable, not debt pile rundown structures. Thoughtful. Is thoughtful realistic? Pride blinds right daughter. Car doors slam outside. Damien heard window. Who joined? Victoria toward house flanked Marcus Jonathan. Behind Victor others. 6 expressions could chill wine. Those actual vineyard owners quiet. Damien spun. What talk fact own not Hawthorne? Vineyard Damien. Never. Manager. Work them. Briefcase slipped papers spill floor. Impossible. 28 years bankruptcy faced post-mother bills. Bought hired manage. All seen plan threatened not mine. Lying. Wish but walking door consortium value $2 billion. Own vineyards farms ag across 7 states. Spent year defraud attempt. Door knock timely. Open Victoria team porch. Mr. Hawthorne formal thanks call. Believe someone property transactions discuss. Damien back wall eyes panic wide. Setup. No Damien sad. Reality long avoided. Victoria stepped presence dominate. Mr. Langford presume Victoria Sterling apex chair. Understand inquiries are property. Your Hawthorne Vineyard 500 acres. Prime California wineland acquired Apex 1997. Mr. Hawthorne manager excellent. Marcus briefcase folder thick. Copies Morn talk Mr. Langford. Extortion fraud attempt conspiracy abuse elder. Felonies impressive. Frantic room scan escape. Prove nothing. Jonathan recorder small. Actually can. Word every Mr. Hawthorne cooperation. Also witness statements reception Lucia added. Enter others. Assault senior 200 witnesses. Prosecutor pursues eager. Legs gave slumped chairhead hands. Can't happen. Is Victoria cold? See Mr. Langford. Apex protects investments crucially people. Mr. Hawthorne served faithful 28. Threat him, threat us. What want voice whisper? Disappear simple, permanent. From Mr. Hawthorne life property. California smart. Marcus document table. Restraining immediate. Prohibit contact. Mr. Hawthorne daughter associates. Violate arrest instant. Can't. Sophia wife. Actually Lucia tablet check marriage invalid perhaps. Investigation reveals prior relations interesting. Evidence no proper divorce first wife. Face white. Impossible is authorities sort. Meantime, 1 hour belongings collect state leave. Victoria, closer voice, whisper low. Mr. Langford. Small pathetic praise vulnerable women. Predator kind kept away properties 28 years, straightened volume normal. No contact Sophia. No claim property assets attempt. Disappear quiet or destroy complete. Clear nodded, frantic eyes pleading me. Elias, please. Mistakes made but love Sophia true, gaze steady. Loved never steal inheritance attempt. Never lie her me. Never hit her wedding, sure. Security doorway appeared. 3 large room, smaller feel. Time go. Mr. Langford one polite. Gathered papers, shake hands, briefcase stuffed doorwalk. Threshold turned last. Isn't over. Victoria smile no warmth. Oh, Mr. Langford, very, very over. Silence, post Damien profound. Porch stood, watch, dust settle. BMW, disappear road, no, never see again. Apex Council, living room pack, documents quiet. Prepare difficult conversation life. Mr. Hawthorne, Victoria, gentle, discuss daughter, Sophia. Sweet trusting, likely hotel, now wonder. Wedding, disaster. Husband, vanish, sudden. No idea. Marriage, invalid, likely. Damien, inheritance, steel plan, all believed family. 28-year lie built. Hate me, quiet. Victor shook. Hurt, confused, but relieved. Understand Damien plan. Marcus tablet up. Located. Grand Hyatt Central. Investigators hotel staff. Rooms since night refuse calls except Damien stopped hour ago. Lucia meaningful. Victoria decided. Go together us all. Hear truth you, but understand broader. Hour later, hotel private conference. Sophia arrived exhausted, confused yesterday. Gown still eyes, cry red, saw me 6 business strangers, confusion. Deep. Father going on. Where Damien supposed meet, hours, phone, no answer. Guided chair. Heartbreak. Trust eyes visible. Honey talk need. Things no. About last night, reception happened. Around room nervous, father no. Damien shouldn't. Temper loss but difficult vineyard pressure much. Sophia. Voice firmer intend. Damien hit me. Assaulted 200 people wouldn't give, never mine give, never yours give. Father talk what Victoria forward leaned. Miss Langford Hawthorne, Sophia corrected automatic. Kept name. Miss Hawthorne Victoria Sterling, represent Apex Preservation Group, own Hawthorne Vineyard. Words air hung physical. Sophia blinked, not heard right. Own, but impossible. Vineyard family generations. Was family? Victor gentle explain. Until 28 years father bankruptcy face, mother bills medical. Apex purchase property. Hire, father manager. Watch daughter face implications hit. Manager. Employee honey. Well paid, well treated, but employee. Never land owned. Never right transfer you anyone. Breathing shallow. But always talked inheritance mind someday. Could be, Victoria said. Apex always willing sell back Hawthorne family position purchase. How much Marcus tablet consult. Current value approximate $4,200,000. Number blow physical. Slumped chair stare nothing. $4,200,000, Damien said. Damien thought. Damien thought marrying wealth. Jonathan Blunt. Spent 2 years planned steal believed inheritance. Lucia briefcase open folder thick. Miss Hawthorne understand married who? Damien Langford con artist pattern. Women assets target. Next 30 minutes laid all. Debts, employment issues, fraud history. Showed call recordings, manipulation evidence, proof sell, vineyard developers plan. But worse last. Also evidence marriage not valid legal. Marcus careful. Damien appears no proper divorce first wife. Sophia sound wounded animal. Married else. Was. First wife missing 3 years. Investigation ongoing. Daughter doubled, punched stomach seam. Reached, pulled away. Don't whisper, just don't. Silence minutes several. Heard traffic outside city distant continue daily, while daughter world collapse hotel room. Finally looked me, pain eyes full. Knew Damien Mean doing what suspected. Investigated try, but proved nothing recent until. Why not tell, question dreaded. Hoped see through own. Didn't want father destroyed daughter happiness, suspicions based. And afraid wouldn't believe, Quiet said. Nodded. Good make look problem, doubt judgment, competency make. Sophia. Quiet long process, all learned. Spoke finely. Voice steady, distant. Need time, think all this. Victoria stood. Course. Time need all. Mr. Hawthorne position, secure long wants. If discuss, purchase, ever negotiate, always willing Hawthorne. Family. Left after Sophia, I sat alone room. Silence stretched 28 secrets, 2. Manipulation years filled. Feel stupid, so finally said. Not stupid, trusting, difference. Is, let stranger convince own father mind losing. Believe Damien said forgetful unstable. Actually researched care facilities. Father plan declare incompetent. Confession harder. Damien slap hit. Honey, no. Let finish. Let poison relationship us. Let doubt everything new man raised me worked bone. Give good life, mother died after. Tears stream face now. What for man saw nothing but path money steal could. Reached hand this time, no pull. Damien professional, knew manipulate both exact. But should known better. Should trusted you. Sat hands holding while cried. Both grieve different. She mourn loss. Marriage trust judgment sense. I mourn relation lost. Damien lies innocence never back. 3 months later, Sophia moved back vineyard. Not permanent, but extended while sorted invalid marriage legal mess, life rebuild. Annulment, simple bigamy confirmed. Damien no contest busy ahead creditors enforcement. Never heard again. Last Apex investigators report. Mexico new identity try. Start. Hoped learned but doubted. Men like Damien Langford, rare change. Vineyard felt different Sophia there. Through work intensity outrun thoughts. Learned trellis repair, aided pruning, took bookkeeping efficiency, impressed even Victoria Sterling quarterly visits. Daughter, excellent business instincts. Victoria told one afternoon watch Sophia negotiate wine distributor. If offer property ever wants board receptive, think. But money no issue anymore. Sophia fund mother insurance life owned savings potential earn down payment, enough. Real question whether Thai place life after happened all. Answer came quiet Sunday evening, December. Porch sat, sunset, paint sky, crimson gold shades when brought up. Want buy vineyard simple, said. Sure, no obligate feel, not obligation. Doing because home. Where mother I gathered herbs every spring, where taught me blend, where learned real love looks. Paused, continued quiet. Damien made forget who was came from. Made a shamed place, embarrassed, simple life hour. But nothing simple built here, father. Nothing embarrassing. Honest work, care land. 6 months later. Transfer complete. Sophia Hawthorne became official owner. Hawthorne Vineyard Mortgage afford comfortable father stayed manager. Now answered her instead. Apex. Victoria Sterling attended closing champagne bring gift unexpected. 28 years ago, Apex bought preserve said glass raise. Today, sellback family loves most. Outcome hoped first met father. Watched Sophia sign papers, land owner make, felt peace not since Isabella died. Daughter home. Safe control destiny own. Damien Langford. Bad memory fade more each day. That evening walked irrigation lines together. Check damage, recent wins, Sophia asked. Expected question. Ever regret truth? Apex keep me long, so. Considered careful. Regret vulnerable made Damien manipulation. Regret complicated relation vineyard, but no regret. Protect financial worries young. No regret work people cared, preserve land more than profit quick. Nodded surprise next comment. Thinking mother lately? What say all this? Think say. Sophia smiled first, genuine happy month scene. Think, say, families protect each other. No matter. Home, not who owns deed. Who belongs here. Walked back house lights, warm, welcoming approach. Somewhere distant nightbirds settled. Land stretched around familiar, comforting ours again. Matter most way. Finally free secrets wait daughter. Finally free influence man never deserved trust. Not ending either planned but needed. Sometimes best revenge simply outlast try destroy you. Sometimes greatest victory find peace. Truth. No matter complicated truth be. Now curious. You listen my story. What do if place my ever through similar comment below. Meanwhile, leaving final screen 2 other stories, channel favorites definitely surprise you. Thank watching until here.